So if we remind the definition of nanomaterials, so what is the definition? So the materials which have all the dimensions or at least one of the dimension at the nanoscale, then that type of materials is called as nanomaterials. So depending upon how many dimensions are present at the nanoscale, there are four classifications of nanomaterials. The first one is zero dimensional. Okay, it's a short form is designated as 0D, is a zero dimensional. Okay, second one is one dimensional. Okay, third is two dimensional, and the fourth is three dimensional. Okay, so in short we can say 0D, capital D uh, uh, denotes the dimension. Okay, one dimensional, two dimensional, and three dimensional. So we are going to see one by one in detail. So you see in this slide we are trying to understand three-dimensional nanomaterials because it is a more easy for us to understand uh, three-dimensional at the starting. So the bulk nanomaterials are materials that are not confined to the nanoscale in any dimension. Okay, so if we say bulk materials, so bulk material is a material whose all the three dimensions are not in the nanoscale, they are bigger than 100 nanometer. But we say it as a bulk nanomaterials. So it is at the same time it is bulk, but at the same time it is present, it has some nano, we call this as a nanomaterials. So these materials are thus characterized by having three arbitrary dimensions above 100 nanometer. So definitely the overall final dimension of the material is bigger than 100 nanometer. Okay, but how still we call this as a nanomaterial? Okay, because the bulk nanomaterials can be composed of a multiple arrangement of nano-sized crystals in different orientation. Okay, so there is a nano-sized crystals. They are coming together and they form, okay, a big a big crystal. Okay, so we call this as a bulk nanomaterials. So materials possess the presence of features at the nanoscale. Okay, to understand this, in the below of this slide you can see two cubes. On your left hand side there is a cube A, and on the right hand side there is a cube B. Cube A and cube B, the dimension, the overall dimensions of the cubes are same, are equal. What is the difference? We can see the features of cube A are much bigger in size. Okay, so cube A is made with the crystals having the size above 100 nanometer. But if you take the cube B, then you can see that the cube B is made up of nano size crystals. It means large number of crystals which have size in the range of 100 nanometer, they come together and there is a formation of cube B. Okay, so in that sense, for cube A we say it is a bulk material, but for cube B we can call it as a nano material, is a bulk or is a three-dimensional nano material. Okay, so in B the features of the crystals lie in the range of nanomaterials. Okay, nanoscale. So what can be the examples of such kind of material? That is the aggregation of nanoparticles. Suppose 10 nanometer, 20 nanometer, 50 nanometer, the particles come together and they get aggregate. Aggregate means they come together due to van der Waals force of attraction, and overall the size of the particle is 500 nanometer, 300 nanometer. But that 300 nanometer or 500 nanometer particle is made with 50 nanometer nanoparticles. So in that case, we call this as three-dimensional nanomaterial. Second example is bundles of nanowires or nanotubes. So you have heard, maybe we'll see in some detail about carbon nanotubes, okay, nanowires of different metals, okay. So you can see there is a bundle. So if you see a large number of carbon nanotubes together, then we can say that it is a three-dimensional bundle of carbon nanotubes, okay. So these are the examples of three-dimensional nanomaterial. Now no quantization of the particle motion occur, that is the particle is free. Now see what is the meaning of quantization, that first we have to understand. Quantization means restriction. Restriction to the motion of electrons, let us say, okay. So no quantization of the particle motion occurs. So because not a single dimension is present at the nanoscale for three-dimensional material, the electrons are free to move in all directions because there is no restriction of the dimension, okay, size. So in that case, we can say that there is no quantization in three-dimensional nanomaterials. You can see two-dimensional, the short form is 2D nanomaterials. So what is two-dimensional nanomaterial? So two of the dimensions are not confined to the nanoscale. Means one dimension is present at the nanoscale. Okay. Look at the right hand side image. Image shown in the right hand side. So two dimension 2D, one dimension, that is T, is at the nanoscale. So in the present case, consider T is the thickness of the film, and other two dimension, that is Lx, Ly, are not in the nanoscale. So suppose if you consider three dimensions, okay, dimension in the x direction, dimension in the y direction, dimension in the z direction. In two-dimensional material, only dimension in the z direction can be treated as nanoscale. It will be remain in the nanoscale. Other two dimensions, that is in the x direction and y direction, they are not remain in the nanoscale. Okay. So in this case, the thickness of the film, so overall this shape, what it indicates to you, this is a kind of a thin film. This is a kind of a thin film because it's a x dimension and y dimension. It can be anything like micrometer, millimeter, centimeter. It can be anything. But the z dimension, that is the thickness, it should be below 100 nanometer. If such is the case, then we call such kind of a shape is thin films or nanofilms or nano coatings. Okay. So two-dimensional nanomaterials exhibit plate-like shape. So if you see any kind of a plate-like shape, and if the thickness of the plate lies in the nanoscale, then we call this as a two-dimensional nanomaterials. Two-dimensional nanomaterials include nanofilms, nanolayers, and nanocoatings. Okay. So quantization, now here is there any quantization? Yes. Quantization of the particle motion occurs in one direction. Okay. In one direction there is a quantization. Okay. Which direction? In the z direction, that is thickness T, while the particle is free to move in other two directions. Okay. It means the electron can easily move in the x dimension, in the y dimension, because there is a large number of space is available, large number of length is available, large number of atoms are available, okay, to move the electron. Okay. But the thickness which lies in the 100 nanometer, less number of atoms are available. Okay. So material is less, so in that direction the movement of electron get restricted. In that sense, there is a quantization to the motion of electron in one dimension. Okay, so this is what how we understand two-dimensional nanomaterials. So basically one dimension is very negligible as compared to two dimensions. Okay, so we just neglect that dimension. So 100 nanometer is much smaller as compared to the centimeter, so we treat it as it is a negligible direction, so we count this kind of materials as a two-dimensional material. In one dimensional 1D nanomaterials, you can see one dimension, okay, that is outside the nanoscale. It means two dimension should be at the nanoscale. So out of three dimension, x, y and z, x and y, these two dimensions lie in the nanoscale region, whereas the z dimension is not in the nanoscale. So you can see this leads to needle like shaped nanomaterials. If you see the needle, okay, pin, you have seen the pin, okay, paper pin or a needle, okay, so you can see it's a x and y, it's a diameter where you are able to measure the x and y. They are smaller as compared to its length, so we call this as a needle like shaped nanomaterial. Okay, on the right hand side you can see the image, okay, where the it is shown for one dimensional, okay, and the two dimensions, that is the dimension in the x axis and the dimension at the y axis, they lie in the nanoscale. It means its a diameter is less than 100 nanometer. Its a diameter is less than 100 nanometer. However, its a length, that is the z direction, the size, the length of the needle in the z direction is not lies in the nanoscale. It can be anything that is in micrometer or millimeter or centimeter, something like that. So in that case we call one dimensional nanomaterials as nanowires, nanorods, nanotubes. So all these kinds of materials come under the category of one dimensional nanomaterial. Okay, so quantization happens in how many directions? Two dimensions. Okay, quantization, that is restriction for the motion of electron, now lies in two dimension, that is x and y, and electron is easily able to move in the z direction. So the quantization occurs in two directions, and that is leading to free movement along only z direction. I hope you got it. Okay, so that is the one dimensional material. And why we call this as a one dimensional material? Because the remaining two dimensions, that is x and y, its size is so negligible as compared to the z dimension. So the size of the x dimension and y dimension, it is so small because the diameter is in the range of below 100 nanometer, and if the length is let us say 1 mm or 1 micron or 1 centimeter, then it is too negligible to count that dimension, and hence we call this as a one dimensional nanomaterial. The last one is a zero dimensional nanomaterial. Zero dimension, please note that zero dimensions means dimensionless. It is not like that. Okay, okay. So as I said, all the three dimensions, if all the three dimensions are at the nanoscale, okay, if all the three dimensions are at the nanoscale, okay, then we call this as we call that material as a zero dimensional. Zero dimension means no dimension. It is not like that. Zero dimensions means all the three dimensions x, y, z, they lie in the nanoscale, that is below 100 nanometer, and its a dimension is negligible as compared to the bulk material. So suppose there are two particles, one particle has a size or diameter x, y, z, all the diameters are lie in the range of 1 micrometer, and we have a second particle whose dimension lie in the range of 10 nanometer. X, Y, Z, all three go in the range of 10 nanometer. So as the material B has very negligible. All three dimensions are negligible as compared to material A. In that sense, we call this as a zero dimensional material. Okay, so that can be present in spherical shape. Okay, because all the three dimensions should lie in the range of below 100 nanometer. Or the most common representation of zero dimensional nanometers are cluster, collide, nanocrystal, quantum dot. Okay, so all these are examples of zero dimensional material. In the right hand side, as you can see, all dimensions x, y, z are at the nanoscale, that is overall the diameter of the material lies below 100 nanometer. Then we call this as a zero dimensional nanoparticles. Now here, because the size of the particle is very small in all three dimensions, so there is a restriction for the movement of electron in all three dimensions. So here, just as a kind of a summary, you can imagine your generally you can when I am teaching in the class, I take you in to a corner of the class and tell you the things. Now you are in your house, so you take any corner of your house, of your room. You are sitting in a room. Take a corner of your room. So the corner represent x direction, x-axis. So one wall is going in x-axis, another wall is going in the y-axis, and in the vertical wall is going in the z direction. So suppose the origin, and now you are sitting in a room which have three dimensions: x, 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 x axis, y axis, and z axis. Okay, and you are sitting in a plane which is basically xy. You are sitting on a plane which is basically on the xy. Now, because you are sitting in a room, or you are standing in a room, you are able to move in all directions. You can go in the you can go front, you can go back, you can go left, you can go right, and also you have a space in the up of your head, so you can also jump up and down. So in all the three directions you are able to move. So this is the case for three-dimensional nanomaterial. Okay, so you are able to move in all six directions. Okay, now suppose your room, I started to take one wall of your room to your head. So top wall of your room, I started to take it below, and I stop it at your head. Okay, now in that case, if you are standing position, in that case you are able to move front, back, left, and right, but you are not able to jump because the wall is right on your head. You are not able to jump. In that sense, your motion is restricted in one dimension, so you are lying in a material which is two dimensional in this space. Okay, 2D. So you are lying in a material which is 2D. Okay, suppose your left hand side wall, I started to shrink towards you. Okay, so you are standing in a corner. Okay, your top wall is on your head. Okay, your left hand side, okay, is coming very close to you, and exactly at your right hand side, very close to you, there is your right hand side wall. In that case, the situation is, now you are only able to move front and back. You are not able to move left and right, up and down, because two of the dimensions has come to the nanoscale, and your motion is only restricted to front and back direction. Okay, and suppose if your front wall also taken close to you, so you can imagine yourself in a box. Okay, you are in a box, okay, where all the walls are very close to you. Okay, so you are not able to move in any of the dimension. You are not able to move in the front or back direction, left to right direction, or up and down direction. So your motion is get restricted. So that is happening in this zero dimensional material, and it is showing very interesting properties because the motion of electron has got restricted in that all the three dimensions. Okay, that we will see in the detail when we see the properties of the nanomaterials. Okay, so I hope you have understood all the all the four important classification of nanomaterials. Okay, so here again it is a kind of summary. So zero dimensional, you can see it is a kind of cluster. You can imagine how nanotubes, nanofibers, nanorods look like. You can see films or coatings. It can be a single film or multi layers of thin films. Even in that case you have to call this as a two-dimensional material. And if the polycrystals they coming together, the features of the polycrystal should be in the nanoscale and they are forming a three-dimensional material, then we call this as a three-dimensional nanomaterial. So these nano materials can be amorphous or crystalline. Amorphous means there is no periodic arrangement of atoms. Crystalline means there is a periodic arrangement of atoms. It can be a single crystalline or polycrystalline. Single crystalline means once it started to grow, okay, it is a single particle all over. It's a growth process. There is no grain boundary. Okay, it is a made up of a single crystal. Okay, so what is polycrystalline? Polycrystalline means so many crystals they are coming together and form a material. Okay, so that kind of thing. The next is it exhibits in various shapes and forms. The shape can be different. Okay, so in that case you can say a nano cone. Okay, or different types of thin films. Okay, okay, so it can, so the shape is can be get changed. Okay, hexagonal nanotubes. Okay, or hexagonal nanorods. Okay, so they are the form of nanorod, but it is not circular in shape, it is hexagonal in shape. It can be metallic, semiconductor or insulating behavior. So of which material you are going to make nanowires, it will show its a property. If you are talking about metal nanowires, okay, then it is they are transparent, still conducting. Okay, if you are talking about semiconducting zero dimensional material, we call it as a quantum dots. Okay, so its a properties are different. So if you have got an idea, okay, about this three-dimensional material, two-dimensional material, one-dimensional material, zero-dimensional material. So here is a small test for you. I have collected 6 images, okay, electron microscopic images of different materials, as you can say A, B, C, D, E, and F, and I can ask you to think which image is representing which type of nanomaterial. Okay, okay, so you can take your time and think about what image A is showing which kind of material, whether it is coming under three-dimensional or two-dimensional or one-dimensional or zero-dimensional. So you can see for image A the scale bar is there, that is going to help you a bit. Okay, so that lies in the nanometer range. Okay, it means, and at the center of this image I can see a dark gray spot. It means the dimension, okay, and it is a circular in nature, so I can imagine that the dimension is all the three dimensions lies in the nanoscale xyz. So the image A represent zero dimensional material. Okay, zero dimensional nanomaterial. Okay, image B, okay, you can think about what can be image B. If you have guessed it, okay, correctly, then image B, I can say it is a three-dimensional nanomaterial. How I can say it is a three-dimensional nanomaterial? Because the scale bar is representing 50 micrometer. So overall the diameter of this particle is in the range of 60, 70, 70 micrometer. Okay, so overall diameter is in 70 micrometer. But if I see the features of this nanoparticle, features of this microparticle, they lie in the nano region. So I call this image B as a three-dimensional nano materials. What for image C? For image C, what do you think? Two-dimensional, right? Yes, two-dimensional is the right answer, because in the image C you can see some sheets, some plate-like structure is observed. Okay, some hexagonal plates are available, and the thickness is very small. So in that case, we consider this image C is for two-dimensional material. For D, you can see what kind of material it should be. It should be it should be one dimensional, right? 1D. Okay, because the diameter of these nanorods on the head can lie in the range of nanometer, but its length is higher, so D is one dimensional nanomaterial. What about E? Yes, 2D. Okay, again it looks like a sheet, thickness is again small, and thickness is very negligible as compared to uh, the uh, the length and breadth. Okay, and that's why is representing E is representing two-dimensional material. What about F? Again you can see it's a the size of the okay the size of the material is in the micrometer range, but its features lies in the nano range, so we call this as a three-dimensional nano material. Okay, so these are the examples what we have seen uh, when we are trying to understand the different classification of nanomaterials.